Good morning, everyone. Today I'm here at Spa. My first time at Spa. Not first time at Spa, first time driving at Spa. And I'm here with, as you can probably see behind me, BAC mono. So I'm going to have a go around the track. Being Spa, it's a little damp, might dry up. So yeah, let's have a little look round. It's pretty wet being at Spa, so I thought I'd take the M2 out for a little drive, see how it goes, have a little cruise round. I am here, and this is about to be my first drive in a mono. Looking forward to it. I'm going to try and mic up something, but to be honest, it's quite loud, so I don't think you'll be able to hear very much. So we'll see what happens when I get back, but I can chuck a GoPro on the car and see how we go.
When are you doing next thing? It's always nice though, you tell everyone it went, so you got no more confidence to make the place all better. But the thing is that you can be But the thing is that because he was at the
Here we are, driving out onto a very wet Spa Francorchamps. Now, this car is on its second day of track days. It's the HRO car, so thanks guys for letting me drive it. But because of that, the fronts were pretty worn down, and it's on the Kumos, which don't seem to really heat up in the wet. So as you're about to see in a second, I put one wheel on the white line and out the back end goes. But that's one thing that I was worried about. You're driving the car and you think, this has got 300 horsepower, 580 kilos, decent amount of torque. It's gonna be quite interesting to drive. It's the 4-cylinder EcoBoost, 2.5 litres, tuned by Mountune, but it's not an intimidating car at all. You just feel like there's no it's you and the road. There's nothing in the way. You feel like a normal car, normal sort of sized car. You turn in and then the car moves and then stuff reacts and then the road. Whereas this, it's just road piped straight into your brain, helped by the fact that the gearbox and engine are mounted pretty much to the back of your head. So every single gear change is just like wham, 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 and then the engine's just right behind you. I wouldn't say it's necessarily one of the best engine notes out there, but it's definitely a very visceral experience when you're in the car. Handling wise, I'm getting quite a lot of understeer in the wet, mainly down to tyres and a little bit of setup. This car is their demo car, so they set it up quite understeery because it's a bit easier if your car understeers than oversteers if you have not done much driving. So it kind of keeps their cars on the road, I think, a little bit. But I'd love to drive it in the wet, not in the wet, on a proper set of wet tyres, or in the dry on a great set of dry tyres. As you can see, I've got little slides all the time, but the car just communicates everything. You kind of just forget, actually, that you're in a car. You can't compare it to any other road car, because it's not like any other road car. It's so light. You're in the middle. The central driving position is so awesome. You look at the steering wheel, it's like some sort of F1 crazy stuff. The gear change is out of an F3 car. It's a sequential gearbox, and it's just like bang, bang, bang every time you change. It's awesome. This car has traction control. The 2017 cars have traction control, and it's a sort of 5-stage thing. So I started off in 5 and then slowly wound it down. I think I ended up on about 2, but if it had been a dry, I probably would have ended up all the way off. But just gradually building up and seeing how the car reacts. As you can see, it is absolutely soaking wet, which I kind of just spent the whole time making sure I was staying on the track rather than trying to push too much, because I don't have much experience in the wet on the tracks and driving the wet line. This was my 4th lap of Spa, so a complete learning experience. And actually I thought the mono was going to be really intimidating to drive in these conditions because it's got a decent amount of power, it's quite light, but actually it's almost the perfect car to start trying to learn about wet driving, because it translates everything so directly into your head. Like you go around a corner and you're like, oh, is this a little bit slippy? And then straight away your body kind of almost instantly corrects and deals with the situation and then manages it. So next time you come around, you'll notice I've just tried to stay off that white line on the inside. That you can start to learn the lines around the track, which in the wet are completely different to the dry, because you've got to find out where the grip is. But what an amazing bit of kit. Awesome.
Just been out in the mono. It was very, very wet, which just seems to be my luck. But it's an amazingly transparent car. As soon as I started with the current car has 2017 model and 2018 have traction control. So I started with it on 5, and it's like a sort of GT style system. You can just crank it back in notches, and every lap just put it down. But it started off not too wet, and it's got wetter and wetter. So I didn't turn it all the way off. Nice having a little bit of a safety net when you're going up over some of the really fast stuff. My car was understeering quite a lot. You'll be able to see in the video. I was just kind of pootling around, learning, trying to find out where the grip was or wasn't. This seems to be the case, and just ended up ploughing along. But even when the back does go, it's so transparent. You just straight away, you just boom, caught it. It's super balanced. Nothing's fast. It's an amazingly good car for learning, I feel, because you can just pick up so much information about your driving, your responses. There's nothing masked in. Okay, this car has traction control, which I think is just good if you're in conditions like this where you're not 100%. And yeah, it's quite nice. I'd love to drive it in the dry. I don't think that's going to happen this weekend, but I'll have another go in it later, get a bit quicker. And it's a good experience. Single seater. It's weird. You don't feel like you're in a normal car. I don't feel like anything similar to any road car that I've driven. Yeah, lots of fun. Well, that's it. The track day is not quite over, but pretty much everyone has left, as you can see. Wraps up my time here with mono and my M2. It's been a bit of a wet time, which is annoying, but the mono, it's a really cool car. It doesn't feel like a car. It just, normally you get in a car, you start driving quicker, and the car sort of shrinks around you. This feels like you're just out there. There's just you, road, connection, nothing else, which is awesome. It's pretty quick, obviously depending on what you're used to. It's a 2.5 litre Ford Duratec tuned by Mount Tune. One of the connection points, the sequential gearbox, you notice that is one of the dominating things about the drive. You change up and it's just like wham, wham, wham every time you change, which is cool. Definitely a plus point. Handling wise, you just sort of think and it does it. Just if you start to slide, you just naturally correct, don't even think about it, carry on. It's a really friendly car, which I thought it was going to be quite snappy and vicious. And the traction control system on the latest one is very sort of manageable. You can dial it down to the level that you want, and it lets you slide around and do whatever you want, but have that little bit of a safety net. Cool car. I need to drive it in the dry, really, but it's been great. Thanks very much to the Mono guys for letting me have a go, and I need to go and drive it in the dry somewhere. But bye from Spa.